All right, it's the 24th of June. It's a Tuesday. We've got about 30 minutes to the NY Open. All right, let's start with the calendar. There's nothing during the NY Open, no news. Uh, I think around 10 a.m. EST there is some news. This is not important. None of these news events are important, in fact. There is no major news events this week or next week. All right. Next week also there is no major news events, and this week also there is no major news events. You can consider this week as kind of the last week of the month, but we still have a single trading day on Monday, and also next week is, even though it's the first week of July, it's considered the last trading week of June, because there is no NFP this week. So the NFP week is always considered the first week of the month. So the week after that, all right, let's go to next month. The week after that, this week, what happened to NFP? July. Oh no, there is. It's on Thursday. They moved it to Thursday. Yeah, they moved NFP to Thursday. Sorry, because 4th of July, it's a bank holiday, Independence Day, so they moved NFP to Thursday. All right, that happens if there is a big bank holiday on a Friday, like the 4th of July, then NFP is brought forward. So it's rare, but it does happen. So it's brought to Thursday. So next week is the first week of the month then, because whenever there is the NFP week is always considered the first week of the month. So NFP week is next week, so that's the first week of the month. Also, coincides with the calendar. And then this week is the last week of the month. Just keep in mind, last week of the month. So we have, what, 4 trading days? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, we have 4 trading days left. 3.5 trading days left for the month. Right? So there's no news this week. Okay, let's take a look at what price. Just a second. Let's take a look at what price has done on the daily. We had a massive drop yesterday. We had a push up and then a huge drop. Now, very likely, again, because of what Trump said several hours ago, said that the conflict is over between Iran and Israel. It's an end, so that brings a little more stability back to the market, less uncertainty, so prices of gold drop, right? That's how it works. So we've come now, prices pushed down to a decision level. Why is this a decision level? This base rally, daily demand zone took out this supply here, right? On the way up, it took out this drop-based drop or rally-based drop, right? Took out this supply, this demand level, took out this supply. Daily demand took out daily supply, right? Also, this push-up took out this supply here, this rally and this drop here, right? There's a daily supply zone there on the lower time frame. There's a rally and a drop. It took that out. That is not that significant because that's a reaction to this. So it's not that significant. But this push up did take out this zone up here. So this is a decision level. Now it's good to see. Now we need to watch what's going to happen. Is price going to start to range here? If it ranges, if it has already started to range here over 3-4 hours, right, or maybe even more, then it's very likely price could go through this level. We could go through this level and head to 3289. Right? That's very possible. You could push down another 340 pips easy. If the level is going to work, then uh, you'll see in the first 2.5 hours of price getting there, you'll see 30-minute support form, a tradable 30-minute bull candle close for price to push up, right? So we'll have to go to the lower time frame and see what's happened at that level. That's the level. This is the level right here, right? This is the zone right here. We have to see what price has already done in this at this level. Okay, let's go to our trading chart. Now, let's do a quick recap of what happened yesterday. Yesterday we formed 30-minute support. We were expecting 30-minute support to form. It formed. There was no pullback, right? But if you're a breakout trader, and I did give out the trade idea, we were waiting for this setup for a while since before the NY Open, right? I said I'm favoring buys rather than sells for the first few hours of the NY Open. I said all of that. I want to see the price pullback, create 30-minute support. It did pull back, create 30-minute support, closed. It reacted to these EMAs, which is a liquidity level, and to the weekly SR level, closed above it. But there was no pullback. If you're a pullback trader, there was no pullback to take the trades up. But if you took the breakout, then you were in profit. I had given profit targets here. I think I had about 3 targets, and then the fourth one was 3,400. I think it hit maybe 2 of them, or maybe the third one. I can't remember. Maybe it didn't hit the third one. The third one was, I think, just there. The third one was at the high of this liquidity candle, the round number. What is that? 3394 was the third one, I think. Yeah, we didn't get to 3394. We came close, but we didn't get there. But it hit the other two TP levels, and price pushed up, and that was it. I had no opportunity to take a trade. Now, if you continue to trade later on in the second half of the NY session, when price comes to a liquidity level, you have to wait for 30-minute resistance to form and a 30-minute tradable back candle to close. So we formed resistance here, but that's not it's not a tradable back candle. That's also resistant, but that's not a tradable back candle. That is a tradable back candle close, right? So that's a tradable candle to take the sells to come down because 30-minute resistance is already formed, and here's the pullback to get the sells to come down, and it came all the way to the next liquidity level, which is 200 pips away, then to the liquidity candle 320 pips away, then here 370 pips, and just continue to push down, right? Going through all these liquidity levels. Okay, so let's get rid of these and start with our zones today again. Yeah. Okay. We're pushing back down on the daily. Yeah, we could be coming further down to 3289. That's very possible. We'll have to see what price has done here so far. So it's come to this level. One second. Let's take a quick look at this on the daily time frame here. Right, so we're trading below. We're trading inside this demand zone, daily demand zone. Now, what's happened on the 4-hour time frame? Still there, no bottom wick. No bottom wick. We're very likely coming further down. On the 1 hour, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Yeah, we're very likely going through this. Very likely going through this. It's been there in that zone for 6 hours. Right, let's just put a line there. 49.20. 25.83, sorry. So on the 1 hour, yeah. So price has, let's go to the 30 minute. No, no clear 30 minute. The 30 minute support did form with the doji, but that is a tradable candle close. But even if you took a buy here, you're going to go hit the weekly SR level right there. And that's exactly what price did. Hit the weekly SR level, came back in. No bottom wick, no bottom wick, price came below it. No bottom wick, very likely price is going to come below this as well, right? Now, the thing is, price is here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th hour. 6 hours. So it's likely that we're going to go through this. We're going to break these lows and head further down, right? And we could be coming down to the next demand level, which is there. Easy 150, 160 pip drop. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's start with our zones. Okay, let's begin. We'll look at this demand first, because that's where price is currently at. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Maybe the 30 minute. No, nothing on the 30 minute. It's the 4 hour. It's this drop, 2 basin candles and a rally, right? That's the zone. Drop, 2 basin candles and a rally, and this is a reaction. Again, a drop, 2 basin candles and a rally, and prices come deep into it. We're about to break it. Let's get rid of this label, HLZ label. Let's take a look at that on the 1 hour again. Yeah, we can bring it down here. Take it there and bring it to this, yeah. So this low is 553,801. 553,801. Right, that's better. And let's just look here as well. Current price where it is, yeah. So we've come deep into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this even further down to the 30-minute base here. This open is 2334, 2334. We're going to break this zone anyway. It's very likely we're going to break this zone. Maybe a little bit of a pullback, and we're going to come back and we're going to come down and break this zone here and head further down to 3,300. That's exactly where we're heading to. Yeah, easy 200 pip drop, easy. We've done about 538 pips today. Yeah, we can easily have a 750, 700 pip candle today, easy, very easy. 750, even 800 pip candle is very possible because it's big news that has come out today. Got to keep that in mind. Big news that came out today with Trump's announcement. So you can have one of those days, a 700, 800 pip day today. So I'm extending these zones to the right. That's all I'm doing. These are all zones and extending them to the right. Yeah, I'll be interested in sales today. Just looking at what price is doing right now or what it's done based on what it's done, I'll be looking for sales, but obviously we need to do a proper, do our entire prep work and see what price could possibly do. Let's take a look at this area again, the zone below. Save this. Yeah, there is a zone here. There's a drop and a rally here. On the 4 hour, let's take a look at the 1 hour, what that looks like on the 1 hour. Yeah, a drop, a base, and a rally on the 30-minute. It's a reaction to this. This is the source right here. A rally, a base, and a rally, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this zone all the way up here to here, because this is what has come off psychological round number of 3,300. So there's a base here, a rally, two base-in candles, and a rally. Whenever price crosses a weekly SR level or a psychological round number, you have to go down to the lower time frames to look for the base, and this is that's the base right there. That's the source, right here. So this low is 330. Okay, and now, yeah, we can bring it up to this. This open is 309.37. 309.37. Right, that's fine. That makes sense. Let's also look at this liquidity candle while we're here. In fact, let's delete the liquidity candle. We'll redraw it. Okay, so I deleted both those liquidity candles. I'm going to redraw it because it's important to know exactly where price is heading to and where it could reverse from or pull back from or retrace from. Okay, so that's about 125, between 125 and 200 pips drop. Okay, I'd like to take that drop. Okay, let's look at further back. By the way, if you are an investor, if you're not a trader, I usually don't share this on the streams, but if you're an investor and not a trader, this is not for traders. This is specifically for investors, right? So basically, you buy and hold. There is no selling. You buy and you hold for. You hold a position for anything between 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, or even more, right? So you're an investor. You're not a trader. You buy and you hold, and you could be buying gold bullion, physical gold, or you could buy digital gold, right? Whichever it is, but you're an investor, not a trader. You can take a screenshot of this. These are the areas. If price drops to, eventually it'll take a while. It could take 6 months or a year for this to happen, right? But these are the areas, these green areas. You can take a screenshot of this. If price drop to these areas, these are the areas you want to buy and hold for 5 years or more, 5, 7, 10 years or more, right? These are the areas you want to buy. You can take a screenshot of this with these price levels, and then if you're an investor, whenever price drops to those levels, you can buy and hold. Okay, let's get back to the chart. Okay, so yeah, let's extend this to the right. It covers about 300 pips to the downside. We could be coming further down. So let's cover a larger area. Okay, we've covered what 450 pips to the downside. That's good enough. That's plenty. All right, let's look at supply. Start with the 4-hour. Let's look at the most obvious supply. We have a rally, a base, and a drop here. Let's start with that. Let's take a look at this in the 1-hour. Maybe on the 30-minute as well. Yeah, I think the 1-hour is 1 hour makes more sense. Yeah, that's all a base. Those all basin candles there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this large basin candle or this basin candle, these candles are all inside this. These two candles are within this candle or this candle, right? So that's why I consider that as part of the base. So let's put the numbers there. High 934. Sorry, high 3. What is that? 346, 643. 346, 643. Okay. Let's get rid of this liquidity candle for now. We can redraw that later on. Mm. Okay. Yeah, that's plenty. Price is not coming there. Okay. Now, price has crossed three levels here, three liquidity levels, right? 3367 weekly SR, the BRN 3350, and 3332. So we're going to look at all those levels on the lower time frame. Let's start with the 30-minute. Do we have a zone here? Not really. Not really. And I don't like going below the 30-minute. No, that's a drop. There's no base there. Let's look at this area. This area, obviously, there's a drop, a base here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basin candles, and a clean drop. Let's start with that. Let's look at that on the 30-minute. Yeah, that's good enough. So the open is 432.792. Okay, let's take a look at this area as well. There is a rally, a base, and a drop off here. Let's look at the 30-minute. Yeah, there is a base there. There's a sort of a base there. Rally, two basin candles, and a drop from this. I would have preferred if the base was here. On the 15-minute, there is one. Yeah, I don't like doing this, but we'll have to do it on the 15-minute because that's the correct base. Yeah. This high 481.702. Because this is a reaction. This is not, price doesn't just drop here and create supply here without it being a reaction to a supply zone on the left, right? So when price is moving down, when it creates that sort of a wedge-like a thing, or they call it like a waterfall, that's the zone. Sorry, just give me a second. Okay. Right, so this open price is the bottom of the zone, and then the 15-minute high there. Okay, supply is done. I just hope today is not one of those days where you just market NY session opens and one of those close your eyes and sell days, because there is going to be a move today. I anticipate a big move today, right? Coming off the news, I do anticipate a big move today. I hope it'll be a proper structure creating structure respecting move rather than just the market opens and then there's a sudden drop and price just continues to push down 200-300 pips. It's 4-hour supply. That's 1-hour supply. Okay. All right, let's take a look at these zones and see if they're high liquidity zones. They should be, because they've come, prices moved down almost 550 pips. It's obviously taken out, it's taken out demand to the left. Start here. This has taken out this drop and this rally, so that base there, the price is taken out. That's a high liquidity zone. This one here, this supply here, has taken out this low here, also has taken out to the left of this, yeah, has taken out that. Yeah, it is also a high liquidity zone. And then this supply here has taken out this low. Has it taken out this low? What is this low? 1553. No, not yet, but it's taken out this low, right? This drop, this, and this rally here. There is a base there. On the 30-minute, there is a base there. There you go. That's the base, right? And that has been taken out here. So we're definitely pushing down. We're taking out, where a price is continuously taking out opposing demand levels, right? So which means that's the structure. When that happens, when price continuously takes out demand levels, it's creating lower lows and lower highs. That's what's happening. That's the structure of the market. We're creating lower highs and lower lows, right? Okay, let's look at demand. Here, this is no longer high liquidity zone. Prices come deep into it. It's just probably about a pip away from breaking the zone, so that's not a high liquidity zone. And further down, yeah, these are all high liquidity zones, right? That's fine. Now, let's take a look at high liquidity candles. Let's start with this current supply zone. I'm looking for the largest bearish candle here. That would be this one. Let's go to the 30-minute. This one right here. It's a 112 pip candle. This one here, 131 pips. That's larger. Let's start with that. Right. 73, 80, 85. Let's go to the 5-minute. $68. This one right here. Yeah, perfect. This one. Yeah, no need to look that far back. 355674. This is the NY open. Still going to wait for the first 15-minute candle to close, so we have time. Okay, let's look further up. The largest bearish candle. Yeah, 160, 190. Let's start with this. Let's go to the 30-minute. $115, $194. Let's go to the 15-minute. $108. Let's get the 5-minute. Yeah. 5-minute candle, perfect. $84. Perfect tap here, look at that. This is Asian session today. Wow. Wow. Amazing trade to take. Liquidity grab. Huge liquidity wick, 30-minute resistance, big liquidity wick from the candle, from the liquidity candle. Yeah, I've got to start trading these Asian sessions. $994,741. Okay. Yeah, it's that candle. It's part of that candle. It's a 5-minute candle inside this large candle. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. And it's got 3350 there as well. You can take the full candle. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you can take, in fact, the 30-minute candle. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I'll take the 30-minute candle. 994, 5044. Yeah, that's a liquidity candle. And further up, let's not look for that right now. Price is not going to push back 700 pips right now. It's not going to happen. Okay, let's look at demand very quickly. So here, price has come deep in. There is no liquidity candle. The liquidity is consumed. We're just a pip away from breaking the zone. Let's look at this one, this 30-minute zone, this 30-minute zone here, right? On the 30-minute, where is the zone? There we go, that one right there. Right, let's look for a liquidity candle in there. Nothing on the 1 hour. There's nothing on the 1 hour. It's just there's this candle. 139. We can start there. Let's go to the 30-minute. $123. 82. Let's go to the 15. Yeah, 30 is good. Keep it at the 30. This one right here, it crosses the psychological round number as well. 3,300, perfect. 580,360. 580,360. Okay, and then bring this liquidity candle down so it doesn't overlap this. This low is 93.60. Perfect. Yeah, 400 pips covered to this. That's it. That's the analysis. Okay, that's it. Those are the zones. We are coming down. We broke the low. I said price is going to break this low. It did. This candle tapped below that. We're heading further down. We've tapped, grabbed liquidity. We're pushing down. Let's take a look at. Let's take a quick look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. This is turning out to be one of those days where where the market opens and just sells, just starts to sell off. I really hope that doesn't happen. I hope we get some sort of structure, a pullback. We break this zone, then we pull back, create resistance, and then continue down. Because you got to remember, right? Keep this in mind. Price is over 200 pips away from the EMAs, right? So keep this in mind. This one right here, this one, right? This one, the third one here. The price is over 200 pips plus from the EMAs, plus 200 pips from the EMAs, a pullback, 15-minute resistance form, a 15-minute tradable back candle close to come and retest the low and then continue lower. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's take a look at the 15-minute, what price has done. Yeah, that's the market open. Right here with the news. Huge news event, huge announcement by Trump, and a massive, soon as the market opened, to almost 200 pip push down with market open. Right? So the market opened at right at 3367, the weekly, just above the weekly SR level, 3368, roughly 3368. Okay, and then there's a pullback here. This is 130. Yeah, London range, Asian low, London high, roughly same level, same price. And yeah, you can consider this as the Asian high. Yeah, yeah, because this is the drop. There's no swing here. This is very minor, and that's at the market open. So I'm going to disregard that swing. But this is the swing low, that's the swing high that brought price to 3332. So that's a significant swing high and came all the way down to this zone here. So this high is 792. 323. 225. 608. Give me a second. All right, let's take a closer look at what price has done. The market opened here with the big news event. We created a liquidity candle. With that news event, 30-minute liquidity candle, it's visible very clearly on the 5 minutes. I had it drawn at the 5 minutes. That's where it wicked the 5-minute liquidity candle and pushed down, but I extended it to the 30-minute to cover that entire candle. Right? Makes sense? Okay. So price pushed down, came close to 3350. You can then it tapped 3350. Pushed down further, we closed below 3350, pushed down further, created the Asian low. That's a swing low, push back up to 3350, back into the liquidity candle once and twice, second time into the liquidity candle. So after the swing low, we came once into the liquidity candle, pushed down again, then again came the second time, right, to the liquidity candle, very close to the EMAs. Formed 30-minute resistance. It's a perfect trade to take to come down. A tap from the liquidity candle and very close to the EMAs to come down, came to 3350 and then pushed all the way down to 3332, right? For a lot of bearish volume, right? That's a perfect signal, a perfect sign from a liquidity level, liquidity grab, huge liquidity wick to push down, right? In the Asian session, clean move down. Came here, pushed further down into the zone to the left, for our demand zone to the left, created the London low, created 30-minute support, 30-minute support here from the liquidity candle. Now we've deleted the liquidity candle and then pushed up back to this liquidity candle. On the way down, it created a liquidity candle here around 3332 weekly SR level. There we go. We are breaking the zone right now. We're breaking the zone right now. There we go. We just broke the zone. I really hope this is not one of those days. It's looking like one of those days where the market opened, no top wick, and a huge sell-off, right? It's beginning to look like one of those days. I hope it isn't. I hope we create some sort of candle structure, some market structure, pullback, resistance, some sort of tradable structure, right? Not just one of those close your eyes and sell days. So we created the London low, pushed back up to 3332, created the London high at 3332 weekly SR level. That's also where the Asian low was. So we retested the Asian low. So the weekly SR level is where the Asian low and the London highs. Okay, makes sense. Create a 30-minute resistance there again. Again, perfect trade in the London session to trade. Created from the liquidity candle and from weekly SR level 30-minute resistance and a tradable 30-minute back candle close, right? And push down. Look at that. Price is dropping. I was really hoping this wouldn't happen. I was hoping this wouldn't happen. The market opened, NY session opened, and bam, almost 100 pip drop. And we could easily continue down all the way to 3289. Easy, 225 pips more, easy. Can happen because you got to remember, I've said this 100 times or more, when liquidity candles are stacked up one above the other, the prices tap them on the way up, which means the liquidity is less. When price comes into them, it very likely is going to go through, right? And remember what I said here, if price lingers too long, right, over 2 hours, 2.5 hours, then it's likely going to go through this decision level, right? It's a high time frame decision level. We spoke about this level at the beginning of the week and even last week. And price has been there for over 6 hours now, and we're starting to go through it. There we go. We broke the low. We're coming further down. Okay. Yeah. So right now, nothing to do. There's nothing to do. Just sit on my hands and wait, because I hate chasing price, even though I have a fair idea where it could go. I hate chasing price. I want price to pull back. That's fine. The patient trader gets paid. Okay, so we closed below the London low. This is possibly a retest. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to delete the zone. I'm going to keep the zone there because I want to see where the next 30-minute candle is going to close, or where this candle and then the next 30-minute candle is going to close, right? If it closes back in, then we're going to push back up. So I'm going to keep the zone. I'm not going to delete the zone right now. Um, okay, no top wick. Let's see what happens. No top wick in this situation means that there's a lot of bearish volume. That's all it means. That's all it means. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, look how far the EMAs are. We are 200 and almost 260 pips away. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this setup. This one right here. Yeah, 30-minute resistance formed in pre-NY. 30-minute resistance formed in pre-NY, right? This candle opened at 1430. Go to the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, need to have a one. I need to see one more in 15 high break because I have one high break. I need to have another to be able to draw the low of the fib or the start of the fib. I have the end of the fib because this M15 candle inside pre-NY hours, IC market server time 1415, pre-NY is 1400 IC market server time. It broke this high. 30-minute resistance has formed. So just have to wait, be patient. We'll wait for the 15-minute candle to close. There is time. Another almost 11 minutes for the candle to close. Just got to be patient. Got to be patient. I could have a trade coming to 3,300 and then further down to 3,289. Okay. Okay. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm waiting for the 15-minute candle to close. So there's about 10 minutes for the candle to close. waiting for the candle to close. Five, just almost 6 minutes for the candle to close. Let's see. I think this one is probably going to close maybe, let's see, look at the 5 minute. Yeah, we're going to push back up. We're going to push back up. We're going to push down, probably respect this low or even break this low, and then we're going to push back up. Yeah. Then I'm hoping price will push up, create resistance, 15-minute resistance, so we can take the cells down. Yeah. Pushing down again. Yeah, we should push up. Let's see. There's no top wick here. 15-minute candle closed. Pushing further down. Yeah. Price needs to pull back up. Yeah, still trying to push down. There we go, we're coming down. This 5-minute candle has no top wick. If it did, then the next one we could trade and go further up. No top wick on this candle. It's coming down. Yeah, it's one of those days. The market opened and just sell off. 126 pips already. No pullback. $275 pips away from the EMS. And pushing further. No pullback. Just have to wait patiently. Trade may come later on. Just like this one did yesterday. 30-minute resistance formed. Anyone who tried to sell here after every time a back candle closed, a 15-minute candle or a 30-minute back candle close was in trouble, was in drawdown. But when you wait for the 30-minute tradable back candle to close, then there's a nice pullback deep into the candle, and look at the trade. Just have to be patient. Price is pushing down. The market opened and it's a sell-off today. Just sell-off. We could easily have an 800 pip candle today. Yeah, we're coming. Yeah, another 150 pips easy. Where will that take us? 760. Yeah, very possible. 750, 800 pip candle, very possible. Easy. 750, 800 pip daily candle. This is a news-driven candle because of what happened several hours ago, what Trump said on Truth Social. And then JD Vance confirmed the news on Fox as well, saying that they've reached some sort of deal for a ceasefire. That's what happened. Over 10 hours ago. 634 pips since the market open. 650 pips. Still pushing. Yeah, I was hoping this wouldn't be the case, but I was kind of expecting it, and I said it before the NY session opened. I said it. The market could open and then just continue to drop, and that's what's happened. Dropped 170 pips already from market open. No pullback, no top wick, just clean drop. Here we pulled back, retested the London low, and then continued down. No structure, no resistance, no pullback, no lower time frame resistance to take sells to come down. Okay, I'm gonna wait for this 6 minutes more for the candle to 6.5 minutes for the candle to close. I'm gonna wait for the 15-minute candle to close. Let's see how the candle closes. I'll be back in a few minutes. Any questions on anything that I have on the analysis, on what we're looking for, on what we've discussed yesterday, anything on technical analysis, on whatever that we've discussed? You can post a question in the chat. Still dropping. 2 minutes for the candle to close. Still dropping. When in a make note of this. Make or share something here. Make note of this. In a heavy bearish market, regardless of why it's bearish, it could be a news event, it could be data driven, it could be it could be fundamental news. Whatever the reason is, in a heavy bearish market, when price is well below the EMAs, just like what it is right now, right? All of this price is, look at that, big push down from Asian session, 400 pips push down below the EMAs, pull back, couldn't get back, stopped at 3332 weekly SR, continued down, tried to come back, couldn't get to 3332, pushed down below the London low. Very bearish, right? That's what we see right now, creating lower lows and lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, possibly another lower high, and continue down. Price, when you have candles like this, price, just this candle means a lot of bearish volume when there is no top wick, a lot of selling pressure. In a range in market, when you see candles like this, very likely the next candle will come and break the high, grab liquidity, and then probably continue down, continue, go back up. Candles like this are tested in a range in market frequently. But when you have, trending market, when price is heavily bearish, price doesn't need to come back up here. There is enough liquidity, enough volume to push price down. Enough volume. So it doesn't need to come retest these candles with no top wicks. 30-minute candle, no top wick. 30-minute candle, no top wick. Look at that. Didn't come back up there. It hasn't come here. This 30-minute candle also has no top wick. This just means there's a lot of bearish volume. In a range in market, when these happen, you'll see that price, the next candle, very likely even the same candle will come back, break its own high, create a top wick, and then push down, right? But in a range in market, it doesn't need to do that. So you'll get a lot of these kind of candles happening, and then that's the reason for it. Just so that you know, that's the reason for it, because it just means heavy bearish volume. But in a range in market, it doesn't mean heavy bearish volume, because price will come back, retest the high, or create a top wick, or break above that. The next candle will break above that, and then push down, right? If at all it pushes down. So there's a difference in this candle. So what I'm trying to say is, this candle in a trending market, this candle is different to when the same candle prints in a ranging market. They look alike, but they're two different candles. They mean two different things. Yeah, this was the post that caused the sell-off about 14 hours ago. Yeah, 15 hours ago, I think. Yeah, 14 hours ago. This post right here. So 14 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Perfect. There you go. 14 hours right to the candle. 14 hours ago, that's 14 candles, 14 1-hour candles. This is the current candle, so you can ignore that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 hours. And then 650 pip push down. Okay, we're pushing back up. Broken this high. Broken this high. Gonna wait for the candle to close. 9 minutes. Just gonna wait for the candle to close. Got a candle that broke a high. Gonna wait. 30-minute resistance formed here. Pre-NY. 15-minute candle broke this one. This 15-minute candle broke this one. Gotta wait for the candle to close. It's wide. It's got to wait for the candle to close. It's another 7 minutes, 6 minutes. We've tapped the liquidity candle. Let's see how this 30-minute candle closes. Tap the liquidity candle. Interesting. And a big rejection on the 30-minute. But this candle, let's see, this candle should close bullish. Let's see if it closes back above the London low. That's interesting. If it closes back above the London low, could be pulling back, but we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for the candle to close. 3.5 minutes, almost 4 minutes more. Still waiting. These lines and this fib don't mean anything yet, right? I'm not. Reason I just drew them and I didn't explain them because they don't mean anything yet. We're gonna wait for the candle to close. We'll talk about it in the last minute or last 30 seconds before the candle closes, but not now. Yeah. I'd like to see price come back up here. Hmm. Okay, a minute for the candle to close. Let me explain. 30-minute resistance formed in the London session. From this was the source. We spoke about this on the 50-minute time frame. You can see a drop, base, drop right at 3332 weekly SR level. On the lower time frame, there's a perfect 15-minute zone there. I don't like looking at the 15-minute, yet there is a zone there, right? Now, that's also exactly where the Asian low is. We formed a zone and we dropped further. In the London session, we came up, created 30-minute resistance. We tapped the weekly SR level, created 30-minute resistance, and dropped further. Pre-NY, price came up, didn't come to the optimal entry. It fell short by a few pips and then continued to come down, push down about 240 pips, right? Price could come back up here above 3329 and we could get a reaction to come down. That's the reason I drew the fib here, right? Now, on the 50-minute time frame, the 50-minute candle just closed. 30-minute resistance was formed here, right? So if you go to the 50-minute time frame, this candle broke this high, this one broke this high, right? This one broke this high, this one broke this high. So this is the most recent low of the 50-minute candle that broke a previous high, and this is the highest high of a 15-minute candle that broke a previous high, right? So draw the fib. Now price is pushing back up. I am still in favor of sells, right? Even though we could get a buyer to push back up, it's very likely because 30-minute support has formed. You can consider this a 30-minute tradable bull candle close. Clear 15-minute support has already formed. 5-minute clear rejection. A bull candle to continue up. We could be coming up. This is the area that I would want to sell in. I would look to sell in, right? Anything above 3325 or 3326, anything above 3325 or 3326 is the area I would like to sell in. Now, here's what I'm going to do. At this lowest point, price was over 300 pips away from the EMAs. Perfect. Aligns perfectly with this structure, right? Over 200 pips. It was 300 over 300 pips, so plus 200 pips on the EMAs. A pullback, 15-minute resistance to form, 15-minute tradable back candle to close for price to come back down. That's the trade I want to take. So I would like to see price pull back to this area, create 15-minute resistance, tradable 15-minute back candle close for me to take the sells to come down. Make sense? That's what I'm waiting for. It might happen in the next 30 minutes, might not. We're going to have to wait for the 4-hour candle to close and then could happen. It's possible too. 4-hour candle is bearish so far, 50, about an hour for the candle to close, so that's plenty of time. Very bearish. Look at these 4-hour candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles straight down. 800, almost 850 pips down on the 4-hour time frame. Straight push down. So yeah, I'd like to see a pullback, maybe wait for the 4-hour candle to close. If you don't get as a session trader, keep that in mind. If you don't get a trade in the first hour of the NY Open or hour and a half of the NY Open, first hour, 1.5 hours max. If you don't get if you're a session trader and you don't get a trade, you don't get an entry, you don't get a setup, you don't get an entry of that setup in the first hour, the first 60 minutes or first 90 minutes of after the NY session opens, then it's always best to wait for the 4-hour candle to close, right? And that's what I would like to do. That's what I plan to do today. Even if there is 50-minute resistance form here, I'm not willing to take a trade here, right? We got about an hour. It's been now, how long has it been? It's the first 30 minutes, second 30 minutes. That's the first hour. Yeah, this is the second. Yeah, it's still possible to take a trade, but the trade could be short-lived because price is just 60 pips away from the liquidity candle, right? Doesn't really make sense. If this candle closes bearish, 15-minute resistance forms, tradable 15-minute bear candle closes, as per this setup, can take a sell, but you got to remember there's a liquidity candle right here where price is already pushed up from, right? So 50, 60 pips, you need to take majority of your positions out, at least 50, 60% of your position, and hold the rest for 3300 and 3289. But what I would like to see is wait for a proper pullback. Let price come somewhere here. 15-minute resistance forms, tradable 15-minute bear candle closes to take the sells to come down. Much larger profit potential, much larger. That's what I want to do. Okay, so 10 minutes more for the candle to close. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to wait for this candle to close. Let's see how this candle closes. 5 minutes, candles are pushing up. I believe price is going to continue higher. We might have a pullback, but I believe price is continuing higher because we have a clear push up, very clear push up. If you're a scalper, these are the trades to take. If you're trading, if you're using liquidity, right? If you're using this, what I do on the streams, if you're using liquidity, high liquidity candles, BRNs or psychological round numbers, weekly support resistance levels, EMAs, if you're trading liquidity, right? Then, and you're a scalper, these are the trades to take. Clear rejection after massive push, that's the key, after massive push down, right? Over 650 push down, 5-minute candle reacts from inside a high volume session, after a massive push down, 5-minute clear rejection, a bullish rejection candle from a liquidity candle, high liquidity candle. That's your trade to take. Stop loss under the candle. If you're a scalper, right? You can open a pending order at the open of the candle, price at the open of the candle or at the close of the candle. You can place a pending order, and that's your trade. Right? Small stop loss, maybe from here, from the open of the candle, you can place a pending order, 30 pip stop loss, take the buys to go up. That's if you're a scalper. For me, I'm not, so I wait for 30-minute structure. So even though there could be a buy opportunity here, this is 30-minute support form and a tradable 30-minute bull candle close with a liquidity wick from a liquidity candle. I'm still interested in the sells. For this reason, well below the EMAs, looking for the pullback, M15 resistance to form, tradable back candle to close to take the sells to come down. Make sense? Okay. I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes more for the 3.5 minutes of the candle to close. We're pushing up. 5 minute bullish. We kind of came down, tapped this area. If you look at the 30-minute candle, this candle closed at 616. That's when this candle opened. 1600 hours IC markets over time. Go to the 50-minute chart. Yeah, yeah. 357449. Nice area to take buys. Just below here, below this candle. Look at the 1 minute. Yeah, just under this candle here. 40, 45 pip stop loss. Maybe around here. Yeah, 45 pip stop loss. Buys to go up. Eight, 7, 4. It's it's not the best to take buys in such a bearish market, but it is a setup nevertheless. A textbook setup nevertheless. 30-minute support, liquidity grab from a liquidity candle. Draw the fib. The candle is about to close. We're pushing up. I would prefer the sells today, but if price comes here, yeah, 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 40, 42 pip stop, but 40 pip stop loss. Not bad. Sells around here, 3308.75. Right now, nothing happening. Just waiting. Waiting for price either to come down here, possibly to take buys. I'm not very keen on buys. So maybe lower risk buys here to go up around 3308.75 or below. Stop loss about 40 pips. Yeah, about a 40 pip stop loss, not more than 40 pips. And for sells is what I'm interested in. For price to come back up here, above this level, above 3325.75, 3325.75, above 3325.75 for sells, for sells to come down. For buys below 3308.75. But I'm not a fan of buys. I would like to take the sells. Anyway, I'm going to be here for another 10 minutes. Set up. Obviously, I don't think it's going to happen now. I don't think prices. Um, I would advise against taking any trades now. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Let the 4-hour candle close, right? It could close a doji, it could close a bullish doji, a bearish doji, or a strong bearish candle. Any one of those three. So just wait for the candle to close. Because in any one of those three situations, if it closes a bullish doji, a bearish doji, or a strong bearish candle, right? Where it closes somewhere here, right? Around 3309 or just above 3309. In any one of those three situations, there's going to very likely be a pullback. Very likely going to be a pullback. So wait for that. That's what I'll be waiting for. I'm not going to take any trades right now. I'm just waiting for the 4-hour candle to close. In 40 minutes, just sit on your hands, wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Unless price drops in right now, in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, gets here, then maybe we can take buys to go up, right? In the next like 5 minutes, if it drops. I doubt it. The 5-minute candle push straight down, reject and continue higher. In case that happens, then maybe I'll take buys with a 40 pip stop loss. From there to push back up to these levels, to 3322, right? About a 130, 140 pip push up. Let's see. But that's only if in the next 5 minutes if we come down. If not, I'm just waiting for the candle to close. I'm waiting for the 4-hour candle to close. I'm not doing anything until then. I prefer sells, not the buys. I prefer the sells. And for the reasons I prefer sells, weekly bearish, daily bearish, 4-hour bearish, 1-hour bearish, right? All 4 high time frames are bearish. That's one reason. Second, price is well below the EMAs, right? So we're in a strong bearish trend. Third, we're creating structure, pushing down. Lower lows, lower highs. Lower lows, lower highs. Lower lows, maybe a lower high and continue down. Right? So for those three reasons, I prefer sells and not buys. But I might take a buy here, a very low risk buy with a 40 pip stop loss, anticipating price to push up further. Might take a buy. Okay? But what I'm looking for is very clear. I've explained the setups, the cells very clearly. I'm going to end the stream in a couple of minutes. Um, any questions, you can always post on the chat. Yeah, I'll be here for another maybe 5 minutes. We'll wait for the 15-minute candle to close. Right? Wait for the 15-minute candle to close. We should break this low. Come down. Push back up. Yeah, we're coming below this low. There we go, breaking this low. 4 minutes more for the candle to close. Let's see how it candle closes. Broke the low, coming down. Place a pending order there. Also going to place a pending order here. Right, just placed. Let's see. Broke the high, right? 1773, 1790. Yeah, broke the high. A minute. Okay, so I'm going to end the stream now. I've placed pending orders here. I've explained why I've placed pending orders. I'm not keen on the buys, so that is why I'm having a tight stop loss. Stop loss on the last trade is about 16 pips, 16, 17, then 20, 26 pips, and then about 42 pips, right? Very low risk for price to push up to this area, around just above 3321, 3322, around that area, right? So let's see, stop loss under there. Tight stop loss. It could wick me out and then continue higher. That's possible too. 440, 440. Yeah, there we go. That's the stop loss. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, risk management 4304. Three oh 303. 303 is the level, and then the one above that is, there isn't one above that. Yeah, candle closed. 30-minute candle bearish, no bottom wick. 15-minute candle bearish, no bottom wick. Let's see if we can push up. All right, that's the end of the stream. I've given out the ideas. I'm looking for sells. Also buy idea. I'm not keen on the buy ideas, but I'm trading. I've placed pending orders with low risk, anticipating price to come here and then push back up. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. We'll be here. We'll do the analysis and see if there's a trade to take. All right. There we go. Pending orders triggered. Let's see what happens. All right. Take care. See you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST.